News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, it is the morning after election night from coast to coast, and we have team coverage this morning, starting with the results of two key elections in the tri-state area. New York City is getting a new mayor. Bloomberg's Lisa Mateo joins us from Manhattan with more on the historic win for Zoran Mamdani. Lisa, good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Yeah, New York City residents really came out in force, producing the highest turnout in more than half a century, with more than 2 million votes counted. And in the end, it was Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani who came out on top, receiving 50.4% of the votes.
Tonight, you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics, a mandate for a city we can afford, and a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that.
Mamdani, he energized young voters with a campaign for a more affordable New York City. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent after losing to Mamdani in the primary, well, he garnered 41.6% with 98% of the vote counted. In his concession speech, Cuomo said he will still be there for support.
We will all help any way we can because we need our New York City government to work. We want it to work for all New Yorkers because our city is the greatest city in the world.
But Cuomo also said that the tally show almost half of New Yorkers did not vote to support a government agenda that he said, quote, makes promises that we know cannot be met. Now, Republican Curtis Sliwa received 7.1% of the votes when Mamdani is sworn in on January 1st as the 111th mayor of New York. The 34-year-old state lawmaker from Queens, he'll be the youngest person to hold the office in a century. He'll also be New York's first Muslim mayor and first person of South Asian descent. Nathan.
Now, Lisa, it was also a big night for Democrats in New Jersey.
Yeah, Sherrill. She became the 57th next governor of New Jersey. She had 56.2% of the votes, defeating Republican Jack Ciattarelli, who was actually backed by President Donald Trump. It was Ciattarelli's third bid for governor. But this, more than a local story, Nathan. Sherrill's win drawing national attention as a potential preview for what's to come in the 2026 midterms. She touched upon it during her acceptance speech in East Brunswick last night.
Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings.
Sherrill, she is a former federal prosecutor, Navy helicopter pilot who won the support of former President Barack Obama. She will replace Democratic Governor Phil Murphy, who was barred by law from seeking a third consecutive term. Her victory actually marks the first time in 60 years that one party has won 3 consecutive gubernatorial elections in the Garden State. Lisa Mateo, Bloomberg Radio.
Lisa, thank you. And another key race in New Jersey. Former Governor Jim McGreevey and James Solomon will take part in a December runoff election in the race for mayor of Jersey City. With 92% of the vote in, Solomon received 29%, while McGreevey got 25.4%. They were the top 2 vote getters in yesterday's nonpartisan election, but needed to get to 50% to declare victory.
Well, Karen, the Democratic victories continued in Virginia. Abigail Spanberger is the Commonwealth's next governor.
We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship.
Abigail Spanberger defeated Republican Winsome Earl Sears 52.5% to 42.3% with nearly all votes counted. The former Congresswoman and ex-CIA officer ran on economic issues and argued that President Trump's tariffs and government cuts have added to uncertainty in the state. We get more from Bloomberg's Joe Matthew.
You've got somebody here who's going to probably try to be a check on the Trump administration, but also has real good messaging when it comes to not only federal workers, but the huge concentration of members of the military in Virginia.
Bloomberg's Joe Matthew notes about 6% of Virginia's workforce is in the federal government.
Well, in Boston, Nathan, Michelle Wu has won her second term as mayor. She ran unopposed after winning big in the preliminary election over Josh Kraft, who then dropped out of the race in September. Wu spoke to supporters after the polls closed.
Tonight and over the next 4 years, we will send the same message we've sent since the day that Boston was founded. That the fight for our freedom, for our families, our friends, and the future we know to be possible is always a fight worth fighting for.
And that's Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. With 65% of precincts reporting, Wu earned 92% of the vote. 8% went to write-in candidates. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.